Now, there's this Guanzing competition run by Converse that happens every single year. Basically, you are an unsigned band or artist, and you send us an original song via SoundCloud. We listen to it, we choose our top 10, you get people to vote, and if you get the most votes, you win this amazing prize. We send you to New York City to check out the sites, get in touch with your musical heroes, and record a song at the Converse Rubber Track Studios in Brooklyn. Then we jet you across the Atlantic to the capital of cool, Paris, where you take in some culture, some sights, and you play your first international show ever at a really cool club. Other notable winners include Matthew Moore from 2012, and Geordie in 2013, who formed the band York shortly after winning. 2014's winners of the Converse Get Out of the Garage competition are Early Hours, and this is their journey. I'm your host, Double HP, and this is the Converse Get Out of the Garage 2014. So what is the first thing any self-respecting band would do upon touching down at JFK, other than playing a little contemporary jazz on the airport lounge piano? Because you can. You go sightseeing. After all, this is New York freaking City, the home of hip-hop, massive pizza slices, and Seinfeld. Did I also mention that it's the heart of indie rock, the soul of soul, and the flagship of pop, okay? Pop music, pop culture, pop icons. But first, who is this Early Hours?
We started about halfway through grade 8, which would have been the start of our high school. And it was mainly Adam and Jake who met, and they kind of started jamming together, and then they pulled me in.
It started with Jake and I meeting in a guitar class.
And then we decided to kind of put it together a band.
We sort of played together in various forms under different names and with different members until we eventually found Lewitt and Benson, the drummer and the bassist, respectively.
I'm Benson Joubert. I'm from Cape Town, South Africa. I'm 18 and a bit. So I play bass, and I'm the only one that doesn't do backup vocals.
What you got there, BJ?
I'm trying to find a place.
It's too much to see in too little time.
It's New York, it's not that busy.
Right, we're going to Times Square, I don't care what you say. What do you want to do, Lewitt?
Definitely not just one in Times Square.
You just eat more bagels.
Right, you can choose.
Lewitt's hungry. He ate 2 pizzas last night. It was madness.
My name's Lewitt van die Kerk. I'm the drummer. I also do some backing vocals every now and then.
Can't believe Lewitt had 12 bagels for breakfast.
So after 12 breakfast bagels, it is time to hit Times Square, which is probably the most visited tourist attraction in the world, attracting 330,000 people every day.
I think I've sort of had, the Times Square syndrome since I was a kid, so I've always wanted to come here and see it for myself,
So little did you know about New York City. New York City can trace its roots back to 1624, bought by the Dutch for $1,000 from the Lenape Indians. Gents, that's like 11,000 rands, Joe. It is the most populous city in the US with over 8.5 million people living there. But you'd probably be more interested in the not so obvious facts, right? Since you're on the subway, you'd be interested to know that MJ shot the music video for Bad on It. It's the largest mass transport system in the world, spanning over 1,300 kilometers. Also, of the 8.5 million people who live in the city, 90% of them use it, which is why the band is struggling to get onto the train.
Adam, I think. Adam, no.
The musicians who busk in the stations, of which there are 468, have to audition to do so, and some have even played at Carnegie Hall. New York is the birthplace of salsa, disco, punk rock, hip-hop, new wave, and jazz. And women may go around the streets topless, provided they don't do it for money. Anyway, back to the music. Hip-hop began here, guys. Greats like Sugar Hill Gang, Run DMC, LL Cool J, even birthing 2 of the big rap giants, Tupac and Biggie. And eventually beef developed, and well, the rest is history. As for rock, New York City has the earliest documented punk rock scene in the US and is considered one of the leading centers of indie rock, which is the genre Early Hours is described as, or rather as they describe themselves.
What we like to call a blend of Britpop and Afro rock. My name's Adam Rothschild. I'm an 18-year-old musician from Cape Town, South Africa. And I'm lead guitarist and songwriter of Early Hours.
Anyway, here we are at Times Square, the busiest pedestrian crossing in the world. and one of the most famous landmarks in history. It is a pretty awesome place for a selfie. Another place in the Big Apple suited for a classic selfie is, of course, Central Park. And in Central Park is a place called Strawberry Fields. Yes, all you music fundies, you're right. It is in fact the Strawberry Fields that the Beatles classic was named after.
Strawberry Fields.
Yeah, this was the one place in New York we wanted to go to.
And in tribute to the frontman John Lennon, there's a plaque here with the word Imagine on it after the song. If you're a self-respecting musician, you come here when you're in New York and you take a selfie.
You frame the Imagine into the corner. No. Switch them off.
Guys, you know what's ironic is that we're in America, but imagine there's no countries.
We've got to try and do it in a very methodical fashion. Efficient. So we're going to go there, we're going to go there, and then we're going to go there.
My name is Jake. I'm 18 years old, recently legal, where I come from, but not in America, unfortunately. And I play the guitar and the singing for early hours.
Jake is the lead singer. He's quite a quirky guy. He's quite loud, and yeah, no, he's a great guy.
Jake is very into fitness, and Jake's the confidence and the.
Myself, egotistical. Nailed it.
Right, back to the subway, and the band is really struggling.
Oh, are we gonna make it?
This time, Benson has managed to get a train alone, without the others.
Benson sucks at trains, guys. We're never seeing him again. And we should have been like, Benson? Benson?
I'd definitely say that the band dynamic is probably one of the most interesting parts.
The dynamics are strange, but effective. They kind of bring out the best of each of us.
I mean, the strange thing is we got, the biggest, I suppose you could say we're almost like an unlikely bunch of friends. What was that? Oh my gosh, Vincent.
Yeah, I find like traveling with friends is really special because you can share like memories and most people can't.
So enough zonka zoinking, let's get down to business. The reason these guys are here is they're recording a track at the legendary Converse Rubber Track Studios in Brooklyn.
Your arms aren't long enough, Vincent.
To be honest, I'm actually pretty nervous about doing the vocals.
I hadn't even seen pictures of the studio actually, so I didn't know like how big it was going to be. The only studios we've recorded in the past is like a little attic, kind of literally the size of, not even as big as the control room in here. So it was kind of like awesome to just walk in and see everything.
It's just so much bigger, so much more professional. Lots of stuff to play with.
The studio is fantastic. I mean, I love it. I really love the studio, and it's great to play, like to record live and stuff.
ID, don't need a pseudonym to see the TV screen.
Aaron Bestinelli, the producer, has worked with Early Hours before at an early stage in the competition.
Yeah, it was cool. I had the opportunity of working with these guys when I was in Johannesburg for a couple weeks. So, it really helps to have that kind of rapport with a band where you're already comfortable with each other. You can immediately either just start cracking jokes or essentially be honest about the track and how you want to approach the song. And these guys they're just hilarious. So it makes it really easy to kind of just vibe out.
But save dates. Oh, it takes two to make a Brangelina.
So Adam actually kind of wrote a demo for the song, I think about 6 months back. He kind of had the general idea in his head, and he kind of worked the whole thing out on his computer. And afterwards, a few weeks ago, we suddenly decided to scratch it up and try get it running.
We decided to record this track while we're here because about 2 weeks before we left home, we just finished high school. Right now, it's about childhood and sort of moving on from who we were to who we're going to be.
It's quite a big thing turning 18 in our country because you kind of get everything. You get your driver's license, the right to drink, things like that, all the good stuff.
It's supposed to be a fun sort of goodbye, farewell to the awesome experience that is being a kid and the cool stuff that comes with everything that's still to come.
The song is so new, in fact, that the lyrics hadn't even been locked down before the guys got here.
So that was one of the reasons that we spent the first day rehearsing, was to really just lock in everybody's parts and figure out what the song really was and where it needed to go. And luckily, since there's such awesome dudes and great players, we were able to lock it in pretty fast. So
I like that. Let's keep that.
yeah, the song's definitely got a very kind of upbeat, bouncy kind of feel. Very reminiscent of the kind of like the Strokes and Arctic Monkeys, and those are a lot of their major influences. So that was definitely something we kind of went for, but they very much have their own kind of sound, and it like you listen to it and you're like, you can tell like this is something that could definitely come out of South Africa. The way the rhythms kind of work together and everything, and so I wanted to really just kind of capitalize on that as much as possible and bring that to the forefront.
Winning the Get Out of the Garage competition was amazing because we entered last year, but we didn't get through to the top 10. But this year, somehow we got through.
It was mad, because actually, as confident as we are, we didn't expect it at all. I mean, I think it was almost like getting into the top 10 was an achievement in itself, and we were stoked.
And then winning was crazy. I remember we had a math test, like the hour it was announced, and so we're sitting there, like I go to my math test, I think Adam and Jake sort of came in rather late, like waiting for it, because what they did was they were like, okay, we're gonna announce a winner at this time, and then at that time we're like tense, and then they just knocked off the like one band of the 10, and it was utter torture because every 20 minutes they knock off another one.
So then we failed the maths test, and eventually we got down to the top 2, and we put it up on like a big screen in a classroom at school. And by that stage we had to win, because there were people like there, like very expectant. So if we didn't, it was just going to be really disappointing for everyone. So it was almost a relief by the time we won, but also obviously like one of the most exciting things that's happened to me in my 18 years of existence. My mum called me in tears, which I think was a little bit over emotional, but yeah, I mean, and we didn't even fully realize like how much it entailed winning. Like we couldn't imagine like how cool it would be to be here in Brooklyn. It's hard to like picture that when you're stuck in your little pond in Cape Town.
I definitely think going from now, we have so much momentum that it's kind of turned the whole thing around. Bands now become a major part of our lives just because of the huge adventure.
Well, there you have it, childhood. And if that was New York City, we've just had it. Next up, Paris. Tune.
That is killer.
Yeah.
And here we are in Paris, France, the culture capital of the world, the home of Chanel, the Renaissance, Marie Antoinette, champagne, love, and of course, the Eiffel Tower. While Early Hours are busy sound checking for their first international gig, let's recap. Early Hours are the 2014 winners of the Converse Get Out of the Garage competition. And before the break, you watched them get out of the garage, go to New York City, check out the sights, eat a hot dog, record a brand new single at the Converse Rubber Track Studios. That was part 1. Currently they're in Paris, where apart from some sightseeing, they'll be performing their very first international club gig at a place called Café Charbon, in the heart of the hipster capital of the city. And right now they're busy sound checking, generally building up a good dose of adrenaline.
Being young and in a bit of a rush, we've kind of just done singles up until now, but we're working towards maybe doing an EP, something short, something, and ultimately, taking our music to foreign horizons.
This is a pretty big deal, and I'm sure they could do with a bit of sightseeing to take their minds off the show. So yes, speaking of foreign horizons, let's follow early owls to the Eiffel Tower to see what they can see. A little bit about the Eiffel Tower. It took 2 years to build this thing. It was erected in 1889 by a guy called Gustave Eiffel, obviously, and it's approximately 89 stories high.
In the words of Vincent Javert,
Very French.
it is more industrial looking than I expected, than I anticipated.
It originally received a lot of criticism, but it has become the most visited paid monument in the world. And you can pretty much see the whole of Paris from the first floor, which is a 300-step climb.
The lift is for weaklings. I reckon we ride up to the first floor. It'll take us like 2 minutes. Bam, we're there. We take a selfie, and then we just jump down.
Oh, and during World War II, the French cut the lift cable so that when Hitler visited, he'd have to climb those steps, just like our band.
Eiffel Tower was worth the climb. 100%. That was the one thing I wanted to do sort of in Paris, was go up the Eiffel Tower.
The kind of thing that is totally different when you're standing underneath it than when you see it in like a magazine or a TV screen. And I think that was pretty awesome.
From there, the band tries to find a way to Pont Neuf.
Who's got my back? I got your back. Who's got my back? I got your back.
But first, little photo op.
Bring your head, come closer to the ladder. Okay, that doesn't look good. Go back further. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, go.
Banger. Nice. Banger.
Some unknown facts about Paris. It has only one stop sign in the whole city. It is legal to marry a dead person in France, but it is illegal to name your pet pig Napoleon. Oh, and Paris was founded in 53 BC. That makes it approximately 2,067 years old. The city's motto is battered but never sinks. And that is certainly true for Pont Neuf. Pont Neuf means new bridge, but actually it is the oldest bridge in France.
The Pont Neuf, that one. Yeah, it's really, really cool. I didn't expect it to be as nice as it was because it's such an old bridge. Apparently being the oldest one that exists in Paris. But it was actually really, really well made. It kind of, the marble and the facade and things like that were beautiful. I haven't ever seen anything like it.
Anyway, Paris's real claim to fame is love. Everyone knows that it is the city of love and French kissing. And on Pont de la Quivèche, which is a pedestrian bridge over the River Seine, you can add a lock of love to the Waitie collection. And our boys are not going to let that opportunity pass them by. Well, at least Lured and Jake aren't. How it works is, you buy the lock from the roadside seller, buy a permanent marker, write your names on the lock, find a spot to lock to the bridge, and you throw away the key, forever sealing your hearts together. Another classically Parisian tradition is to eat a crepe from a patisserie.
I'm down for a crepe.
I'm down for a crepe, Adam. You know me. I'm gonna have cinnamon.
I'd say Paris is one of those few cities in Europe that lives up to one's expectations. It's cultured and interesting, and there is a depth to it that might not meet the eye.
Walking through Montmartre and putting on a monkey mask. No, that's not tradition. And of course, climbing the summit of Butte Montmartre, the highest point in the city, to take in the view of Sacré-Cœur, the view from Sacré-Cœur, and of course, taking a moment of reflection on the journey so far.
I definitely think this trip taught us how much potential is overseas.
Especially at our age, a little nudge in the right direction is exactly what we needed.
Only a little note made us.
Yeah, it was a pretty
we
big
were sort
kick.
of falling asleep because you were so busy, and then they sort of kicked us in the right direction.
Yeah, exactly.
But in a nice sort of soft kind of kick.
I definitely want to come back.
Definitely.
Where should we go? Paris?
London?
Yeah, London would be sick.
Yeah.
I'd like to see the UK. I just want to play shows though, because I like the touristy stuff, but like.
You know, shows are more.
But you want to be in a band, like we're here in a band.
You're here for band stuff. Yeah.
Plus last night.
Speaking of music, so Paris is also famous for the Champs-Élysées, a boulevard famous for its cafes, theaters, and of course, luxury shops. It's so famous that there are 23 songs about it. Maybe 24 after the show. Anyway, it runs from a Ferris wheel at the bottom up to the Arc de Triomphe, which is a monument in honor of all the people who died in the Napoleonic Wars and the Revolution. But mostly its tunnel is a fantastic place for a quick a cappella rehearsal before the band's very first international gig ever. That's right, it's time for Early Hours' performance at Café Charbon. But first, the taste of French sweeties.
Oh, hello, Haribos.
Though I'm pretty sure you get these in South Africa.
Deux Haribo, s'il vous plaît.
But what you don't get in South Africa is Jake parlez-vouing a bit of Francais.
Merci.
Oh, Hagen does.
Are you getting me speaking fluent French? Merci beaucoup, madame.
Café Charbon is a small yet popular club in the heart of Hipsterville. The stage is on a mezzanine level that overlooks the audience. How very French. Speaking of the audience, I think we are ready for the show. And of course, the live debut of Childhood, a song they recorded in New York City.
ID, won't need a pseudonym to see the silver screen. Car keys, shotgun, I'm in the front seat with my hair undone.
So the set started pretty nervously. We were all really nervous. We didn't know what to expect. But slowly we kind of felt it warm up.
Sort of worried about not too many people dancing, but we fixed that, which was great.
Yeah, I think I like playing live more than anything else in the world. Like, that's why I'm in a band.
It's always great to watch people dance with like some energy that you're like giving them, you're creating. So yeah, all in all, I thought it was a very successful set, which was great.
Playing the new song was awesome. It's the first time we've ever played it in front of people before, which was great. We only just finished it, so it's always great to play new music in front of it, see how people like it and stuff.
They were really cool. I was having a lot of fun. I was dancing all night long. During the whole concert, was really cool.
I thought they were excellent. I didn't know them at all before coming, but I thought they were great. They reminded me of the Strokes a lot.
There's a bit of Arctic Monkeys, obviously. The lead singer looks like a bit of Elvis sometimes. And some basic young rock and roll that really rocks it, and I really love it.
The whole experience in 3 words?
3 words. Eye-opening with a hyphen, so that's 1 word.
I want to say exhilarating.
Highlights of my life. And also unforgettable as well. This is definitely the start of something, and it's difficult to forget the start.
It's been an unforgettable experience. And recording in Brooklyn, doing this gig, and sightseeing all over the world was just amazing.
The trip's been indescribable, really. And too incredible to put into words.
This is living the dream. It is the start of something big for Early Hours, and it could be for you too. If you're a star on the come up, you need to enter this competition. It'll change your life.
Thank you so much.
Keep it locked on converse-sa.co.za or follow them on Twitter to find out when entries open for Get Out of the Garage 2015.
Is it cheesy to say that the experience was life-changing?